be in the video?
It's time for a daily dose of cope, and we have Chi-Chi Kachiyama, one of our correspondents here. She's on break with her plate full of faces, and this particular face is saying, "I voted for you. Why is ICE taking my family?" This is most appropriate for what is going on today, what is going on in this current climate. This woman, a Miami Republican, is saying what is going on with ICE, it's inhumane. That was her words. This woman right here. Here is her tweet saying, "I stand with Congresswoman Salazar as the state senator who represents her district and the daughter of Cuban refugees who are now just as American, if not more so than Stephen Miller. I am deeply disappointed by these actions and I will not stand down." I want to put myself on record. This is not what we voted for. I have always supported Trump through thick and thin. However, this is unacceptable and inhumane. I understand the importance of deporting criminal aliens, but what we are witnessing are arbitrary measures to hunt down people who are complying with their immigration hearings, in many cases, with credible fear of persecution claims, all driven by a Miller-like desire to satisfy a self-fabricated deportation goal. This undermines the sense of fairness and justice that the American people value. She voted for a man that said he was going to have bloody mass deportations and thought that he was going to be fair somehow. And instead of laying the blame on Trump, she's laying the blame on Stephen Miller because these people are too cowardly to call it like it is, but I will call her a coward. This is a fairly long article from the New York Times that's talking about how these crackdowns are impacting businesses. It says Trump targets workplaces as immigration crackdown widens. Many industries have become dependent on immigrant labor. Some workplace raids have been met with protests. This is a long article. I'm not going to do it all, but I'm going to do some of it. The chaos that engulfed LA on Saturday began a day earlier when camouflage-clad federal agents rolled through the garment district in search of workers who they suspected of being undocumented immigrants. They were met with protesters who chanted and threw eggs before being dispersed with pepper spray and non-lethal bullets. The enforcement operation turned into one of the most volatile scenes of Trump's immigration crackdown so far, but it was not an isolated incident. Last week, at a student housing complex under construction in Tallahassee, masked immigration agents loaded dozens of migrants into buses headed to detention centers. In New Orleans, 15 people working on a flood control project were detained, and raids in San Diego and Massachusetts and Martha's Vineyard and the Berkshires led to standoffs in recent days as bystanders angrily confronted federal agents who were taking workers into custody. The high-profile raids appear to mark a new phase of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, in which officials say they will increasingly focus on workplaces, taking aim at the reason millions of people have illegally crossed the border for decades. That is an expansion from plans early in the administration to prioritize detaining hardened criminals and to later focus on hundreds of international students. You're going to see more worksite enforcement than you've ever seen in the history of this nation. Tom Homan, the White House border czar, told reporters, "We're going to flood the zone." It remains to be seen how aggressively Trump will pursue sectors like construction, food production, and hospitality. Raids are sometimes directed based on tips, but otherwise appear to be distributed without a clear pattern, hitting establishments large and small. A spokeswoman for the Department of Homeland Security did not respond to an email seeking details about the government's plans, including an explanation about why the administration is ramping up on worksite arrests now. Over the past month, though, the White House has pressured immigration officials to increase deportations, which have fallen short of the administration's goals. The number of arrests has risen sharply in the past week, according to figures provided by the Department of Homeland Security. Tricia McLaughlin, a spokeswoman for Homeland Security, said 2,000 immigrants per day were arrested over the last week, up from 600 earlier in the administration. It was not clear how many of those arrests were made at raids of work sites. Workplace raids require significant planning, can be costly, and draw on large teams of agents, but they can yield more arrests than pursuing individual targets. The raids may have become feasible in recent weeks, experts said, as personnel from the FBI and other law enforcement agencies have been enlisted on immigration operations. Goosing the numbers is a big part of this because it's so much more efficient in manpower to raid a warehouse and arrest 100 illegal aliens than it is to send 5 guys after 1 criminal, said Mark Krikorian, director of the Center for Immigration Studies, which advocates less immigration. In interviews, migrants and employers expressed alarm about the toll a sustained crackdown could take on the workforce. Undocumented immigrants are concentrated in a few American industries, making up 19% of landscaping workers, 17% of farm workers, and 13% of construction workers, according to estimates from Goldman Sachs. Gus Hoyes, a Republican who runs a construction firm in Cleveland, said his industry has long leaned heavily on people with valuable skills who are in the country without permission. They're undocumented, but we've got to do something because these people are tradesmen. They're pros in the field, said Mr. Hoyes, a naturalized immigrant from Colombia. You get rid of these folks and it's going to unalive us in the construction arena. So he is a naturalized immigrant from Colombia. He also votes Republican. He voted for this mess, knowing what his labor force was made up of. These people have absolutely no sense. And I wanted to get to this part where Mr. Hoyes was talking, a MAGAtino with absolutely no sense. What is wrong with these people? So this post from Shannon Hill was posted under the Donald Trump for President Facebook page. So Shannon says, today my oldest son turns 36. I sent him a gift, left him a voicemail and text him, but I won't be hearing back from him, not even an acknowledgement that he received his present. Why? Because he hasn't spoken to my husband or I in 7 months because we voted for Trump. I miss him and hope someday he will come around and realize the damage he's doing to our family by acting this way. My breaking heart is a continual reminder. I know many of you have similar stories, and I pray that your family members come around as well. I'm not asking him to change his politics, but you can't let it come between family. And I am seeing that people are absolutely breaking up with their MAGA family members. The family members are in their find out season. This woman named Katie responded underneath this post saying, my 30-year-old daughter did the same thing. It about destroyed me. Then I realized it was happening to a lot of parents and a result of mind control. My heart sinks when I read this because although she's now talking with me, our relationship is not the same. I've lost her love and respect and endured emotional abuse over it. I would still vote for Trump, and I'd do it again and again. I love my daughter more than anything, but quality of life matters. Morals matter. Having a strong and safe country matters. What morals did she vote for? What quality of life did she vote for based on what is going on right now? That she would do this again and again and continue to lose the respect and love from her daughter. So that was Katie. And then a bunch of people were responding under Katie's comment. Cynthia says, I haven't seen my daughter in 4 years, but not because of politics. We live in such a crazy and unloving world. Why can't we just accept that we have different views and opinions and still love each other? Hugs and prayers. Brenda says, me too. Like you, keeping this country free and religious freedom is my continued gift to her. God bless the USA. Barbara says, I feel the same way. Just because they are not in reality does not mean we have to go to the other side. So everybody else is not in reality. The MAGA cult, they live in reality. They live in a world where there are actual morals in America based on the Trump vote. It's wild as I read through this. These people really don't live in reality. Karen says, Trump is the only man in the world that has the heart and stamina to fix the immorality that is festering across the world. Trump was saved in Butler by a higher power to save the states and the world. Kathy says, I haven't heard from my only child in over 10 years. She's a Trump hater and blames everything in her failed life on Trump. She knows I'm a supporter of his, so now I'm the enemy. More comments with the same. Veronica says, we're going through the same thing. We're praying all the time for our child to find peace. Brenda says, our 45-year-old son wrote return to sender on the letter I sent without opening it. I pray he will come visit us again. These people are more than happy to vote for Trump again, though, and lose their children. All right, I'm going to end it there. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
I'm gonna be in the video.